Is she truly the heiress the world believes her to be? For the very first time, Joong-ki opens up about the enigmatic background of his wife Katy Louise Saunders. For years, rumors of extraordinary wealth have surrounded her tales of elite upbringing, international ties and secret fortunes. But how much of it is true, and what has remained hidden from the public eye until now? The truth may surprise you. Let's dive into the mystery and separate fact from fiction. Only on Red Carpet revealed, she's not who you think she is. With that single sentence, Joong-ki shattered months, no years of speculation and myth-making surrounding the woman at the center of South Korea's most whispered-about love story. Katy Louise Saunders. Elegant, poised, and nearly impossible to read. Katy has long been painted as a wealthy heiress from Europe, a woman who entered Joong-ki's life with an aura of aristocracy and untold riches. But what if the image we've seen was only a carefully framed silhouette, and the truth lies somewhere far darker, far more complicated and far more human? In a never-before-aired exclusive, Joong-ki sat down for a candid, deeply emotional interview, lifting the veil on the woman behind the headlines. What he shared was not only surprising, it was shocking, raw, and at times heartbreaking. A princess, or a survivor in disguise. Rumors have always followed Katy like a designer perfume trail, daughter of diplomats fluent in 5 languages, raised between London and Milan, educated at private institutions where royalty sent their children. But when asked directly about these claims, Song gave a quiet smile. Then he said, "I think it's time people hear the truth." The truth. Katy's childhood wasn't embroidered with luxury. While she did move between countries, it wasn't because her family was globe-trotting for pleasure. It was survival. Her father, a freelance business consultant, took contract work wherever he could. Some years were comfortable, others were brutally lean. She wore the same coat for 3 winters straight. Song revealed, recalling stories Katy had quietly told him. She used to cut out fashion magazine pages and tape them to her closet door, dreaming, not owning, a life of pretending and pain. The most heart-wrenching part, Katy kept up the illusion for years, even as she struggled beneath it. During her university days in London, she worked night shifts at a cafe, tutored children in Italian, and sold second-hand books online, under a fake name. Why the secrecy? She was ashamed. Song confessed. Not because she was poor, but because she was afraid people would stop looking at her if they knew the truth. In one chilling moment during the interview, Song read aloud an excerpt from a journal Katy had once shown him. It read, "If I act like I belong, maybe they won't notice I'm just borrowing the dream." Fame meets reality. A collision behind closed doors. When news of their relationship first broke, tabloids ran wild. K-drama king marries. European heiress. Netizens speculated about Katy's rumored inheritance. Some claimed she owned property in multiple countries. Others whispered of family ties to old Italian nobility. But behind closed doors, it was Katy who struggled most with the spotlight. She cried the night someone said I was marrying her for her money, Song said. Because not only was it false, it reversed the reality. I'm the one who leaned on her strength. In truth, Katy had no fortune to speak of, only resilience, depth, and a story she had long kept hidden from the world. A forgotten letter and a powerful revelation. Midway through the interview, Song pulled out a weathered envelope. "She never wanted me to read this," he said. Inside was a letter Katy had written to herself at 21, discovered by chance when unpacking after their wedding. "If one day someone loves me not for where they think I come from, but for where I've fought to be, then maybe I'll stop pretending." That letter, Song admitted, broke him. She had been performing for the world, and all she wanted was to finally be seen. Not the woman you thought you knew. Now, with the truth out, the public is reeling. Not because they feel betrayed, but because they feel connected. Katy is no longer a polished mystery. She is a woman who endured. A woman who rose from instability to global attention, and yet still carries the weight of what she once had to hide. And Joong-ki, he doesn't just love her more because of it. He respects her more than ever. "She taught me what strength looks like in silence," he said. "I didn't marry an heiress. I married a fighter." Within minutes of the interview airing, Korean and international social media exploded. Twitter trends shifted instantly. Phrases like, "she's not what you think," Katy's letter and Joong-ki's confession surged to the top of feeds in over 20 countries. Fans previously divided between awe and skepticism found common ground not in the myth, but in the truth. For the first time I feel like I know her, and I admire her even more, wrote one viewer on YouTube. I expected wealth. I didn't expect pain. I didn't expect courage, another tweeted. In Italy, where Katy spent much of her youth, local outlets began investigating her past more seriously, not to dig dirt, but to fill in the missing human details. Former professors from her university described her as intensely private, but fiercely hard-working. One even recalled how she would often stay behind after class, not to socialize, but to clean the lecture room in exchange for lunch vouchers. Unreleased footage. The moment song, Joong-ki fell silent. While the televised interview captured the heart of Song Joong-ki's message, Red Carpet Revealed has obtained unreleased footage from the shoot. In it, he pauses for nearly 40 seconds when asked, "When did you realize she wasn't the person the world thought she was?" His eyes grew distant before he answered. "The first time I saw her cry, not because she was sad, but because she was tired of pretending." He described coming home one night to find Katy sitting in their darkened living room, staring at a wedding photo. She looked like a statue, frozen. "I asked her what was wrong," she said. "They love the mask more than the person beneath it." That moment changed everything. Friends and family speak out. The story took another turn, as individuals from Katy's past, some previously silent others, entirely unknown, came forward. A former flatmate from London anonymously shared that Katy often gave away her own food to friends, who were struggling even when she had little for herself. She would tell me, "Don't pity me, I've already won because I'm not bitter." Another revealed that Katy had once turned down a scholarship because she didn't want the university to promote her as a diverse success story. She said it felt like being used for someone else's branding. Even more poignantly, a professor from a Milan Arts Institute confirmed that Katy once wrote a short film script about a woman pretending to be rich in a foreign city just to survive. It wasn't fiction, the professor added. It was her way of processing the shame she carried. A different kind of riches. At this point, the conversation has changed. No longer is the public asking how much money Katy Louise Saunders has. Instead, they're asking how much did she overcome. Song Joong-ki, who rose to fame through roles that romanticized fairy tale love stories, now finds himself in a real-life drama far more layered than any K-drama script. And in this story, the heroine isn't draped in designer gowns or dripping in diamonds. She's draped in silence, in strength, in survival. She never wanted sympathy. Song says, "She just wanted freedom, and now I think she finally has it." A final word and a new beginning. As the camera zoomed in on Song Joong-ki's face at the end of the interview, his final words were barely above a whisper. "They saw a fantasy, I saw a fighter, and I married the fighter." Since the interview, Katy Louise Saunders has remained silent. No public statements, no posts, no corrections. And maybe that's the most powerful thing of all. A woman who no longer needs to explain herself. But for the rest of us watching fans, skeptics, the curious and the concerned, one thing is certain. The real story wasn't the riches, it was the revelation.